Mexico's most wanted is dead. The cartel got the news and lit the country on fire. 19 states, 70 dead, 23 prisoners broken out of jail. El Mencho is gone, but the monster he built is still very much alive. And Guadalajara, the host city of the World Cup, is holding its breath. Mexico's most wanted man is dead, but the country is still burning. Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, known as El Mencho, was captured by Mexican special forces in the town of Tapalpa in Jalisco state on February 22nd. He died shortly after from injuries sustained in the firefight. The Trump administration had offered a $15 million reward for his capture, calling him one of the top fentanyl traffickers into the United States. Within hours, his cartel hit back. The Jalisco New Generation cartel blockaded roads, torched vehicles, and unleashed violence across 19 states. In Puerto Vallarta, armed men rammed a prison gate with a car, freeing 23 inmates. More than 70 people were killed, among them 25 National Guard members. A number of airlines halted flights. At least 2 major cruise liners skipped their stops. Tourists sheltered indoors as black plumes of smoke rose over the Pacific resort.
Look, now we're scared. We only go out when it's necessary, because people don't know whether to go out or what to do.
A couple of days later, the charred debris of burnt cars still lines the roadsides into Guadalajara. Schools are closed, businesses are shuttered, troops patrol streets that are emptier than usual.
Everything is closed. I went around and everything was closed. People feel disappointed. This movement will continue. He is a drug trafficker with a lot of power.
Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum has spoken of peace and tranquility returning, but left-wing parliamentary deputy Mariana Casillas says her community has lived with this for 2 decades, since the government launched its war on drugs in 2006.
It seems positive to me that the fight against drug trafficking is being pushed forward. Perhaps these are not the right mechanisms. The pressure has been excessive and even crude, and in that sense, Mexico has done everything that Trump has asked.
Drug war expert Deborah Bonello, managing editor of the Insight Crime think tank, says the pattern is familiar. Killing cartel leaders, she argues, has never brought stability to Mexico. A power struggle in Guadalajara now looks increasingly likely in a city scheduled to host thousands of World Cup fans in June. FIFA boss Gianni Infantino told reporters everything was spectacular. Sheinbaum insists there is no risk to visitors.
It seems to me that doing it close to the World Cup gives visibility if it goes well. Visibility that something was done about it. But if there is instability, it could even put the World Cup itself at risk.
More than 60 funerals are being arranged for cartel foot soldiers and National Guard troops alike. And in the streets of Guadalajara, one parliamentary deputy speaks for many when she says the people have other priorities than football.
The people here don't want the World Cup. They want security, they want clean water, and they want their disappeared relatives back.
As violence grows in Mexico, the next few days become very crucial. The government is trying hard to throttle the violence, but the power vacuum El Mencho's death has created has to be filled with something. One just hopes it is not with a civil war. At least 25 members of Mexico's National Guard and 1 security guard were reportedly killed in retaliatory attacks following the capture and death of the country's most wanted cartel leader on February 23rd. Security Minister Omar Garcia Harfuch confirmed that Nemesio Oseguera, known as El Mencho, died in custody after being injured during a Mexican Special Forces operation in Tapalpa, Jalisco state, on February 22nd. Oseguera led the powerful Jalisco New Generation cartel. According to Mexico's defense ministry, intelligence leading to the raid stemmed from a romantic partner of the cartel boss. Defense Minister Ricardo Trevilla said information from a confidant of one of Oseguera's romantic partners helped officials quickly plan the raid for the following day at the crime boss's compound.
Through military intelligence work, we located a trusted person of one of El Mencho's romantic partners, who transported her to a facility in the town of Tapalpa, Jalisco. At that location, she met with El Mencho, this romantic partner. And on February 21st, she left the property, and we obtained information that El Mencho remained at that location.
Security Minister Harfouk said the killing triggered coordinated violence.
In cowardly attacks after the operation to detain El Mencho, there were 27 cowardly assaults against authorities. In Jalisco, there were 6 attacks, where unfortunately 25 members of the National Guard, 1 security guard, and 1 from the State Attorney General's office lost their lives. In these incidents, at the hands of these cowardly criminals, 1 woman lost her life. We counted 30 people from organized crime, 30 criminals who also lost their lives in these attacks. In Michoacan, there were 13 attacks where 4 criminals died and 15 members of law enforcement agencies were injured.
The United States had offered a $15 million reward for information leading to his arrest. Meanwhile, in a post on Truth Social, US President Donald Trump urged stronger action from Mexico in a social media post.
Great interview of American patriot Derek Maltz by Wonderful Fox and Friends host Lawrence Jones, who is terrific. Mexico must step up their effort on cartels and drugs.
The post followed confirmation of Oseguera's death and the ensuing violence. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum addressed the nation Monday, announcing that highway blockades had been cleared and normal activity restored.
We woke up today without any blockades on any of the highways, and practically all activity has been restored.
She outlined the establishment of a national command center to coordinate federal and state responses.
It's important that you know that a command center is being maintained today anyway, a national coordination. Where the secretary is, the secretaries are there, their teams, the Interior Ministry to be in coordination with all the state governments. Yesterday, after the operation, this command center was set up, and I want to thank all the governors because truly, governors and governors, everyone was in coordination with a lot of information.
She also praised Mexico's armed forces and extended condolences.
I want to give special recognition to the National Defense, to General Ricardo Trevilla Trejo, to the Mexican Army, to the National Guard, to the Air Force. Mexico truly has extraordinary armed forces. They are prepared men and women, professionals with great vision, great patriotism, with enormous preparation. Our condolences to the families of members who lost their lives yesterday. Today, there is more calm and there is government. There are armed forces, there is a security cabinet, and there is a lot of coordination. So you can rest assured that peace, security, and normality in the country are being safeguarded.
Meanwhile, Defense Minister General Ricardo Trevilla detailed international intelligence cooperation, including with US authorities, that enabled the operation.
There are agreements that Mexico has with other countries, with other organizations, Interpol, Europol, and others. We, as the armed forces, have strengthened this relationship with the North Command of the United States. And this exchange of information is very important.
El Mencho's death marks a major blow to organized crime. But Mexico now braces for cartel retaliation and power struggles.